stopping by. So for today's layout, I will be creating a page using the Paige Evans Cut files, and these are hot air balloons, as well as using clouds that are, as you can see here, were the negatives of that other cut file. Normally you would back that cloud file, but in this case I wanted to use the clouds. I'll be scrapbooking these pictures, and I actually end up using only 2 of them, of my adorable Lulybird on one of the hot air balloon rides while we were on vacation. So backing a cut file is very simple. Basically you just trace around the cut file and you cut around it. And for these little pieces, what I did was I cut very small thin strips of paper, and as you can see here, that is my large cloud and it's completed. And now I'm going to work on these 2 smaller ones. Now I want to kind of use the same color combination that some of these hot air balloons have. It was a little difficult. I was using Hip Kit Club kits from different months to be able to come up with the right color sequence for my clouds. Now I'm going to use some gesso, and this is just white gesso, and I'm using an old gift card to spread it across my page. You can use a brush or one of those sponge thingies. I kind of like using the card because it spreads it pretty evenly, and it gives you some nice texture. And as you can see, I got some on my glass mat, which no issue, you can wipe it right up. Now I do end up making 2 backgrounds. The first background I kind of messed up. I went a little too dark and it really wasn't what I was intending for, so I saved that for another layout, or I can even use that to cut out other elements for other pages. So you will see both, I believe, and I will be using the vibes, and I'm sorry, I just was trying to focus, the Distress Stain in Faded Jeans, and then the vibes are Deep Blue Sea and Jenny B. Blue. And these are easier. It's easier when you kind of like stir them, but I'm very impatient, so I shake them, stir them, I do all that stuff. So you let your gesso dry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a packaging technique, and basically that's just packaging from embellishment, and I'm going to spray my color, and I'm going to add some water, and as you can tell, some of those colors were a little too dark for a sky, and they kind of all blended together, and that wasn't really what I was looking for. You know, sometimes you have an idea in your head, but it doesn't really translate onto your paper. So, and also the paper towels I'm using have they're like quilted, so it has an actual design to it, and when I use the paper towel on my layout, which you'll see shortly, it actually left the paper towel almost like if I used a stamp. And see, if I would have left it there, I think I would have been fine, but I keep adding, keep spraying, and that's where really wasn't what I was what I wanted. So I'm going to keep at it for a little bit, and I think right about now I'm really saying not really, although it doesn't look bad now that I'm looking at it, but in my head it didn't look right, and I decided to keep messing with it. I let it dry for a little bit, and then I added some gesso because I wanted to lighten it up, and I added some gesso with some water and a little bit of blue, like a lighter blue color. And now I'm going to spread some gesso and this is where I'm definitely realizing that I need to cut it out because it's not cute. So we're going to fast forward to my clouds. So I'll be using the Dazzler Sprung Sugar, and that's also by Shimmers. And it's it's a smooth, let's see, what does it say? Smooth shimmering dimensional paste. And what I'm doing is I'm just dabbing it with my finger, and I am just going over the clouds and basically dabbing this so it gives it texture. And I really love how the clouds came out. They look very realistic, or at least, you know, it gives them a little dimension, a little texture, and definitely gives it shimmer. I should say it looks as realistic as it would in, you know, in scrapbooking world. So yeah, so these pictures were taken while we were on vacation in Wildwood, New Jersey, as us North Jersey people call it, down the shore. We spent a week in Wildwood, and they have a amazing, I think it's about 5 miles of boardwalk lined with all kinds of little shops and games. They have 3 piers of rides, 2 water parks. Like, there is a lot to do. And I don't think, well, I definitely know we didn't go to the water parks. So there's plenty to do in a week. You do not get bored. Plus you have the beach. So here is the background that I ended up using, which, as you can tell, has a lot less mixed media on it. And that is what my cloud looks like. So now I'm gluing my my hot air balloons, and the clouds, I am going to add some foam to the back of them to make them a little bit more dimensional, so that some of them look like they're in front of the hot air balloons. I have a couple others that are going to be flat and are going to be behind the hot air balloon, the large one specifically. So it kind of looks like the balloon is actually floating through. Unfortunately, in this video, I do forget to turn my camera back on. So you will not get to see the finished, or me finishing up my layout as far as embellishing, which really I do very little embellishing, but you can see them on the still pictures at the end of my video. So basically I titled it "She Dreamt She Could Fly," because that was her favorite ride. All she talked about was the hot air balloons. And one of the pictures that I use, which you can see there, it's myself, my daughter, my Luli bird, and her mommy, which is, I've known her since she was 3 years old, and now she's a mom herself. So it's really cool that we, I call her my niece, but you know, she has, how can I put it? She's not blood related, but she might as well be. That would probably be the best way to put it. So I'm going to let you continue watching the end of this video. And I just want to say thanks for watching, and have a great day.